What's up, everybody? Funko.com just had a sale and I did decide to take advantage of it, but there really wasn't much on the site that I was interested in, so I only ordered 4 items, but I am going to share these items with you. I didn't take them all the way out. I do have the box open up next to me though, and we're going to start off here with this sorter here that has 2 pops inside. Okay, so we have Batwing here, and I know Batwing is very easy to find. In fact, out of this set, I'm not sure why, like I see a whole lot of this particular figure in stores, you know, the Batwing, but these other ones I have not seen quite as much. And as a matter of fact, I want to say it's the Batgirl Cassandra Cain that's kind of difficult to find, actually. But I do have the Clown Hunter. That was the first one I got from this set. Now I got Batwing, and I may get these other ones eventually. I'm not actually like in a rush to get them, but it would be nice to have them. As far as Batwing is concerned, I do like the look of him. I kind of wish he had his full costume, because if I'm not mistaken, I think he actually can have like wings on his back as well that he makes use of, and you know, hence Batwing. Although I still think it's a little odd that, you know, Batman has a vehicle that goes by Batwing, and then we have a Batwing character. But regardless, like I said, I do like the look of him here. I'll probably get him out of box. As a matter of fact, I think all of these figures here, I'm going to end up getting these out of box to share with you all. Then of course you see we have another Batman related figure here. We have Killer Croc, which I'm glad that they made Killer Croc. You see that he's a Target exclusive, but again, I got him from Funko.com. So I'm glad they made the character. He does look like the character from the animated series. My only issue is, like, why would they not put him in an action pose, especially this particular character? Because, you know, if you know him from the series, he's usually kind of hunched over and you know, looking kind of threatening in that way. So to just have him standing tall, arms at the side, it reminds me of like old school Funko Pop. So yeah, I wish he was in an action pose, but I'm still glad, you know, to have him here. And then I didn't even think about it, but yeah, we got another Batman related figure here, but this one based on the Arkham franchise of video games. And this is one I really was not worried about getting, but you know, with the sale price, I was like, you know, at that point I might as well. So we have here the glow-in-the-dark Bane, which is a GameStop exclusive. So when I get this out of box, you know, at the end of the video, I will check out the glow on it for you all. Something happened here with this pop that kind of annoys me sometimes. So the bubble wrap left smudges here. At least with this one, it looks like these might be able to come off, hopefully. But I know with the, like with eBay, when you order Funko Pops, I don't know if it's still the case, but I know I ordered a pop there previously. It was actually Shinobu from Demon Slayer, and it had that blue bubble wrap around it, and that's like just the marks that it left. It seems like they're just permanent on the box. So not a big fan of that. But this Bane though, I don't see it being high value like ever, so I'm just going to take this out of box and more than likely keep it out of box. As far as Arkham Asylum is concerned, the franchise, I really haven't been focused on the pops. They're not my favorite DC designs, to be honest. You know, the Scarecrow even. I'm a big fan of Scarecrow, and I never really got into his look with the Arkham franchise. So yeah, I actually have 3 DC figures here, but the last one here is Marvel, and I made sure I didn't look ahead of time. I want to make sure I, you know, shared this on camera, because this does have a chance of a chase, and this figure is the main reason why I actually did a Funko.com order this time. So we have here this deluxe Moon Knight, or Mr. Knight here, which I'm gonna like it regardless. I mean, because I really like the way they designed this with him seated in the chair and the sarcophagus back there, and yeah, that statue back there, is that meant to be? Yeah, I guess that's meant to be Khonshu in the background there, although I'm not sure if that's actually on this actual set. We'll see here in just a moment. But yeah, let's check it out, see what I ended up with here. And yeah, I did not get the chase. That would have been awesome. The chase is glow in the dark. Other than that, nothing else is different. So they do have the artwork of Khonshu there in the back of the box. Maybe you can see that kind of well there. And again, you see some little smudges from the bubble wrap. It's not as bad as on, you know, this particular box. But yeah, I've said it before, I've not had the greatest chase look recently. This would have been an awesome one to have, but yeah, I'm not going to stress it. And because it's not the chase, this will be another figure where I'm going to get it out of box and probably just go ahead and keep it out of box. I've been doing that more and more often. I still don't think I'm going to become a completely, you know, out of box collector, but with certain figures, it's just like, you know, might as well, especially if it's not going to be high value, it's not a chase, it's not rare, then it's like, you know, what's the big difference? I'm not going to ever sell it and get much out of it. And really, I'm trying to keep, you know, as much of my collection as I can. Every once in a while, I will pare it down some, you know, if I'm not so interested in something anymore, or unfortunately sometimes, you know, you learn more about certain creators and things like that, and it kind of affects the way you feel about figures, and you might downsize because of that. But for the most part, I try to keep my collection together. But yeah, this one, I don't think it'll ever be high value. I will get this out and go ahead and keep this out. I thought that the Batwing figure might come with a base because it looks like it could easily tip over, but actually, you know, the feet are kind of wide there, and with the stance he actually is balanced, so that's good to see. He actually doesn't need the base, which is cool. I like how they did the paint here. Of course, they tried to make it look like the eyes are actually kind of lit up. Same thing with the Bat logo there on his chest. I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about this actual character Batwing, but maybe at some point I'll get to check him out. Really do like the way the cowl is designed here. Just his outfit altogether looks pretty cool. But like I said, I know I've seen plenty of images of him where he actually has like the wings on his back. That'd be cool to see. But I'd be very surprised if Funko ever actually does another version of Batwing. This one doesn't seem to be like a big hit. I don't know if it's just overproduced or people not into the character, what it is, but like I said, I've seen a lot of these sitting around in stores, but I am happy to have mine, even though I think the value for this figure right now is what, like $5 or $6, but regardless, he's cool to me. I do like the look of him there. And then with Killer Croc, like I said, I just wish he was in an action pose, but they really did nail the look of the face for the character. He's got the spikes on his head there, of course, that really strong brow. Even his shoulders here, they look like naturally padded up like armor, which I don't know if I've noticed that before really with the character, but that is cool looking there. Of course, he's got his bare feet out there. And I don't know if it's a issue with the paint job or if it's meant to look that way, that the pants look a little bit roughed up. You know, it's fine regardless. But yeah, action pose really would have set this off, and maybe, I don't know, maybe make him a little bit taller, even though that's not 100% necessary. I feel like the character is kind of tall but tends to be hunched over. But yeah, definitely curious to hear from other fans of Batman the Animated Series. What do you think about this Killer Croc figure? I've mentioned it before recently. I still really need to track down Clayface from Batman the Animated Series. I really would like to have that in my collection. I haven't come across it yet in like a comic book shop or anything like that. Haven't really searched it out on the second market online. Maybe I will do that at some point. Then of course we have here Bane, which there really was not much to Bane in the Arkham franchise. He's just, you know, that big hulking muscly figure basically. You know, he's just there to be physically intimidating more so than anything. This pack is kind of crazy looking. Almost makes him look like a Ghostbuster there. I don't ever think I really paid much attention to the design of the pack on his back there previously. The hoses, of course, you can see those pretty easily going into him there. And of course, they got the green of the veins. I'm curious to see what'll glow here. I wonder if the green right here with the veins is actually going to glow or not. I would assume that these, you know, the tubes and all of that would, but we'll see. We'll check that out in a moment here. But yeah, I've never been a big fan of this interpretation of the character because Bane is supposed to be really intelligent, and I feel like too often, especially in animation, that tends to get dropped. And you know, in video games as well, that tends to get dropped. You don't really see him as an intelligent character. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I did of course like Tom Hardy's interpretation of him with The Dark Knight Rises. Even though that movie did have a lot of issues, I still liked that version of Bane. But yeah, this one, you know, at the sale price, I think it was worth it. Okay, then we have here Mr. Knight. I like this casual pose that he's in, and actually for the you know, the superhero outfits he had in the series, the two superhero outfits, I actually did like the Mr. Knight one more so. I really like that sleek look with the suit on. Pretty cool looking there. And like I said, I like how they made this whole little display with him on it. But it was, you know, one of those things where I wasn't so sure about getting it at first, but with the sale price knocking it down a little bit, I was like, yeah, I might as well go for it, especially since it did have the chase, which I was hoping for, but I'm not going to stress that. This is still available, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think all of these are probably still available on Funko.com right now if you're interested in any of these. Of course, the bobblehead going on there. But yeah, I may go ahead and get my Moon Knight figures together. I think they're kind of spread apart right now some, but at this point, especially with having this one now, I might as well get those together. As always, getting him charged up here first. It's always funny to me. I know you all can't see everything, but whenever I'm charging something up for a video, I get to see other figures that are nearby kind of charging up some too, and then they'll glow for a little bit. That is kind of cool to see. But yeah, with this one, like I said, it looks like the tubing for sure is going to glow, and I think that the veins on him will actually glow as well. but we'll see for sure in just a moment. Looks like the pack will too. In fact, I'll try to give you all a good look at the back here, charged up, and then from the front there also. But we will start off with the front side of him. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. So yeah, as expected, the tubes and the veins, everything that's green there is glowing. Not super bright, and it is fading pretty quickly though, which is kind of surprising because green usually glows like super bright and sometimes can last for a while after it's been charged. But this one, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit darker than some of the other greens that Funko has used. Let's check the back here with the pack. Oh, it actually shows up a little bit better from this angle. Yeah, interesting there. But yeah, like I said, I'm definitely going to go ahead and keep this out of box. I'll keep the Mr. Knight out of box. I think Killer Croc I'll put him back in the box. I do have a Batman the Animated Series section that I'll keep together. Batwing, might put him back in the box too, and then see if I get all those other figures together and find a good spot for him from that particular set. But yeah, let me know what you think about these figures here. And also, did you go for any of the figures that were on sale recently on Funko.com? Definitely check out Funko.com every once in a while to see what they have going on, because for whatever reason, Funko does not always announce their sales. Even if you follow them on social media like Instagram, Twitter, wherever, sometimes they don't announce them. So yeah, make sure you just get in the habit of checking the site out regularly to see what is available. But thank you all so much for taking the time to check this out, and I will talk to you all again real soon.